Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is going to be on my daily makeup routine, and this was requested by one of the viewers of this channel. And on average, it takes about 12 minutes to do my makeup if I am not spending time choosing the different eyeshadow colors and what's a different thing that I could be doing today. I'm sitting down for a transformative experience and then going out. So you'll see there are many steps for being a daily makeup routine, and that's the reason why. And I may have not mentioned this often in my other videos, but I actually don't wear makeup every day. Most days when I go to work, it's no makeup at all. So if I decide to spend the time to do makeup, I'm gonna go through the steps. Now, if I am in a time crunch and I am doing my makeup, there are some steps that I can skip and feel okay with that. Like I did a bite lip today. Well, if I don't have the time, maybe I can just put on some lip gloss, or I'll skip some contouring, right? I don't need to contour my nose and the jawline and right along the neck here. I could just do some contouring the hollows and forehead and be done. I don't need highlighter on, the high points, the forehead, the chin, and the nose. So those are steps that I will readily skip, but for the rest, like concealer, the eyeshadows, putting dimensions in it, and setting all of that, those are very important to me. I do want the makeup to not only have good coverage, but last throughout at least 6 to 7 hours. So those are truly my daily makeup steps. I will see you guys afterwards. All right, I have cleaned, moisturized my face. I have on lip balm. The first thing I do is prime. So I use the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. And then next thing I do is prime my eyes. This is NARS's Tinted Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base. And then I'll draw in my brows using Shu Uemura's Brow Sword. I forget what color this is. I think this is number 2, Hazelnut, but I'll link that below with the actual color. And in North America, I don't think Shu is a very popular brand. In Asia, they're very popular with both makeup artists and just individuals like myself, consumers. They have some of the best brow products, and I've always just enjoyed using their products. I've been using it for 10 years now. The Brow Sword I did not get into until a good friend of mine recommended it to me, or maybe she got it for my birthday one year, and since then I've been hooked. It's just the shape of it is great. You can easily draw individual brows with it too. Anywhere that you went in with too much, you can use the spoolie to fluff it or to blend it a little bit. When I draw in my brows, I start with the bottom line here and I just follow along the shape. And then I do the same for the top part, but I don't start right here because I don't want my brows to be too squared or kind of that, angle right here. I want it to be a little bit softer. So I start maybe around 2/3 of the way or 1/3 of the way. Yeah, I guess 1/3 of the way. And I just draw over here. I elongate the ends just a bit. The idea is to have the angle. If you did kind of like an angle, that's how long the tip of your brow is. But there's lots of ways of doing your brows. It doesn't have to be like that. What's really popular now in Korea is that brow without this kind of end. So you get like very tall, like short brows that are very cute. But that's just, I'm not ready to do that to my brows or conceal it or pluck it. That's not what I want to do. So I'm just gonna go with its natural shape. And then when I get to the front here, I just draw in a few individuals. Some days it's better than others. And then I'll spread the color with the spoolie again And I just want to make sure, for the most part, it's even on both sides before I move on. The brow on my left side actually kind of angles upward a little bit. You can see the difference. Kind of see the difference here. Not the best way to measure, but you can see the difference. And so I would probably draw this up a little bit more to make sure both sides are more even. Again, some days I draw it better than others. I find that drawing even brows is extremely challenging, even though I've drawn my own brows for well over a decade now. And so this looks okay for me for now. I might touch it up a little bit later. We'll move on to the next step. Next, we're going to apply eyeshadows. The way I choose my eyeshadows, I don't do it the night before or the day before. Sometimes I'll get a new palette that I'm very excited about and I'll think of colors that I want to try and I'll create those opportunities. But on a normal day-to-day, I oftentimes just use what sits on my vanity. We're going to use Tom Ford's Honeymoon Quad. It's easy to hold. I can do that with one hand. There's only 4 shades. I can't overthink this. A lot of times I look at this in the morning and see, this looks really pretty to me today, and I'll just use that color and then go from there, right? Then I might add in some of this for definition, or I just might use this and overlay this kind of champagne shimmer here as a lid topper, and then I'm on my way. And for a while, I used Charlotte Tilbury's Color Chameleon eyeshadow pencils, and these are great. Very easy to apply. I would just swipe a few times back and forth and then use a smudge brush to blend it out. And then I would use a crease brush to get that color higher up on the lid to get some dimension. But yeah, these are the 3 shades that I have. These 2 look very similar, but they're actually, hold on here. Okay. This is Amber Haze, which according to their product information is great for brown eyes. And this here is Dark Pearl. And then the third one that I have is Bronze Garnet, and this is for green eyes. Hold on here. Okay, sorry, I did Amber Haze twice, that's why they look the same. But this is the Bronze Garnet and Dark Pearl. So yeah, these 3 colors here, love them all. I thought about getting all the colors at one point, but then I kind of got distracted with other eyeshadow palettes. So anyways, going back to Tom Ford, I'm going to put this bronze color all over the lid, and I'm going to pack that color on. With the crease brush, I'm going to blend this out a little bit upwards, just to diffuse the color and get it to look a little softer. Then I'm going into this plum color here, and we're going to add that to the outer corners and then blend it upwards a little bit. And we're going to use the mini booster. This is the Sky Eye set of brushes from Sonia G. And then just for fun, we're going to add some pink in here. Let's give it something interesting to look at. We're adding it to the crease as well. When a color story is put together well, or it's a good color story, no matter how you play with the colors, they end up complementing each other. So again, you don't really have to think too hard. And this is very much so the case with this Honeymoon. All right, and then we're gonna put this champagne color as a topper. I'm gonna be pretty generous with it. And I'm using the soft shader from the Sky Eye set. And I just want this all over the middle and the bottom of the lid. And then taking the Jumbo Blender, I'm going to diffuse the color some more just to make sure there's no harsh lines. And what I like to do before I get into the foundation, concealer, and all that products for the face, I always go in with a Q-tip and just do this for any fallout. And this is especially important with certain brands and formulas that tend to have fallout because their shadows are so buttery. You can choose, or you may choose to, you know, put some powder, some loose powder underneath your eyes and just sweep it away. I've seen a lot of makeup artists do that too. You can also buy those, I don't know what you call them, but they're like stickers you can put on each side because that's where the fallout tends to be. But this is just a Q-tip that I found works for me. And I'll just do this so you can see some fallout, not that much. You just want to get rid of any fallout. And doing this Q-tip, I slowed it down because I was talking, but to do it on a day-to-day, it's just super, super quick. Now, I already wet my sponge, and we're just gonna go in with concealer first. We're gonna dab the areas you want to put some light to it, or hide anything, cover up anything. Redness under the nose. And then I do like some light on my forehead. That's why I do that. Totally optional. And then, of course, these breakouts. And again, putting it around here, putting it on my nose, it's totally optional. Some people don't really like concealer because it's thick and they don't even need concealer. You don't need to put any concealer on. If you don't want to, you don't need it. I need it. So I'm gonna do that. Now, it's also preference. You know, I'm saying I need it, but I'm sure it would probably still look good. Oh, puppy in the background. It still looks fine if I just had foundation. But for me, if I put on makeup, it's either I spend the time to do it and I do all my steps, or I don't put on makeup at all. And actually, most days I do not go out with any makeup on. Most days I do not go to work with makeup on. Yeah. So for this demonstration, I just look like I have a full face of concealer right now, but actually on the day-to-day, I probably would ease up a little bit on the forehead and I'd probably ease up a little bit on the chin. Luckily, I don't always have those breakouts, so I don't even need to like put that much right here. Normally, there isn't that much concealer on my face. Next up, I'll go in with a stick contour, and this is the NARS Multiple. Altai is a discontinued color, so once I'm through, I have another one of these that I haven't used, so once I'm through that, I'll have to go in and find another brand or another color I could use. And as I was telling you guys about the contour, I forgot to talk about my concealer. Concealer is Pat McGrath, and this is L5, about 2 shades lighter than my skin tone, because I do like the brightening effect. And then to blend out the concealer, I will be using this fan brush. Oh, and taking Chantecaille's Future Skin Foundation, just a small scoop here, add it to the base of the sponge. Oh, by the way, I was wiping off, or I'm trying to wipe off the Charlotte Tilbury pencils with just like a tissue. Yeah, it doesn't really budge, which goes to show that color stays on all day when you apply it. Let me know if you're interested. I can do a video on these pencils. They're so pretty. And interestingly, it's like not what the brand is really known for. It's not so much these pencils. The brand's known for its, you know, flawless filter, its pressed powders, that airbrush effect, and then it's known for the eyeshadow quads. But they have multiple great products in that brand. Okay, so now that everything's kind of been blended in, I'm going to set my face. I'm going to set my eyes first using the McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder. This is in the shade Light. And then I'm going to go in with this brush here and just apply it like this. Because under eyes is very delicate and I really want the concealer to stay put. I don't want it to move around when I'm applying powder. So I'm just patting this on. And then I'll go in with this mini brush and just do a swipe. And then using Chantecaille's loose powder, also in the color Light, I'm going to put some of it in here, that top, and then with a all over face brush, we're gonna set the rest of the face. And as I'm doing this, I keep noticing this red spot here that's peeking through and a little bit on this side. We're going to take this stick concealer, and again, if I don't have these breakouts, I don't do this step. It just takes up more time in the morning. And using a very flat, dense brush, this is from Bobbi Brown, I've had this for many years. I'm going to add the concealer here. Look at it. Like, this is how effective it is. This stick concealer from Maquillage. It's a Shisedo brand. I mean, if I don't talk about it, if I don't point out with that conceal, you're not gonna really notice it unless you look, you know, unless you look and you look for it and you look in this area. So from this perspective, it looks pretty good. Looks like I'm not recovering from any nasty breakouts. So with that, I am going to set this as well, but I want to be very careful. Now that I've placed this product on there, if I use a big brush or if I just do any sweeping motions or circular buffing motions, it's gonna move it. So I'm interested in patting on setting powder instead. So I'm gonna use this brush again, and that's all I'm doing. And that's all I'm doing. And we're done with that. And then I'll do a quick check, right? I just wanna make sure there's no stickiness on the face and if there's no stickiness, it tells me, okay, I have a layer of powder, the makeup is set. And sometimes some areas will feel more powdered than others. And I'll just go back in, add some here. Spending the time to set your face is worth it because your makeup stays on for longer, it looks fresh for longer. So if I had to choose to spend an extra minute or two on certain parts of my makeup, it's going to be the under eye concealer and then setting the face. All right, now I'm going to add some eyeliner, and this is Hourglass's gel pencil, and in the color brown. Something to keep in mind when you're adding liner is if you're adding right underneath or right on top of that lash line, you want to draw it all the way through to about where your lash line ends and not kind of go beyond that because it'll make your eyes kind of droop downwards. You want eyeliner to make your lash line look full, but you want the overall look to lift your eyes. Even if it's a smoky look, you want your eyes to be lifted. And you'll see the motions I did when I was blending this, it was never this way. It was always just kind of like this, outwards, outwards. I didn't do this motion, but if you see me doing that, it's for that reason, right? I want to form that kind of look. And sometimes I don't do that at all, right? I just try to make my eyes more circle, so it's more complementing. All right. And for mascara, this is McGrath's Fetish Eyes. I've been using this since January and it's still going strong. I think I have maybe another month with it. When applying your mascara, you want to go from the very bottom, wiggle them upwards because you're trying to get a lot of product at the base of your lashes and then comb it upwards, all to make your lashes look fuller. If they're full at the base, you're halfway there, right? You've accomplished the thing you're trying to do, or half of what you're trying to do with mascara. The other half is just making your lashes look longer. And depending on what you're trying to do with your look, if you, at the ends, wing it out, it'll look more like this. If you're trying to make your eyes look rounder, then you don't have to be too intentional about spreading them. But you want to make sure as you work on the center lashes, you push them inwards a little bit. So they're more, when you look at it like this, it's opened like that. And if you get any mascara in areas that you're not supposed to, like when I was talking, not paying attention, that I can wash off. But if you have it on your lids, or like here, I've got too much product on the lower lash line, wait for it to dry, and then you can go in with a Q-tip or your finger. I like the Q-tip because it's more precise. So we're just gonna give this a moment to dry, and then I will come back for the rest. Okay, with that fixed, we're ready to move to the other steps. Depending on how much time I have in the morning is how fancy I'm going to get with my blush, with my lipstick, and with highlight. So oftentimes, I don't have a lot of time in the morning, so I really just pick one blush color and just put it on, make sure it's diffused enough so it looks even, and then I'm actually out the door. I might put on some lipstick when I get to work, but if I did have enough time, these are the steps that I would continue to go through. So I did do a video on this Jouer Bouquet d'Amour palette. It's all full of blushes. We're gonna play with a different color today. I think we'll just try Seduce Me, and then we might put some Marigold. Let's see how this goes. Let's see if this works. Very pigmented. Need to get that excess off. I don't think I need to go in with the second application. Soft cheek, brush, diffuse, buff out. Yeah, I think we're good with this color. I'm not going to go in with anything else. I like the pigmentation, and Seduce Me is really cute. I guess that's why it's called Seduce Me. All right, I'm going to go in again with a fan brush and using Hourglass's Ambient Lighting Palette Edit. We're going to use this bronzer color, coat the brush with it, and add some more contour here. It's just to warm this part of the face up so there's more of a contrast. And when the light hits on it, you have your features popping. For highlight, we're going to use Hourglass's Metallic Strobe palette. And today we're going to go with, let's try the Lucent Strobe Light. And for lipstick, we're gonna go with a nude color. You know I like my nude colors. This is a Korean brand, BbiA, and this is the color number 6. Has that very popular Korean velvety matte finish, or like a blurring effect. And again, depending on how much time I have, I'm just gonna go in with this lip tint. Because I want to do like a bite lipped effect. And what I realized just now is that the tint is too close color to the actual lipstick, at least how it comes across on camera. So I'm going in with this Wayne Goss Vintage Pink lip liner to sort of subdue that lipstick color a bit. So there's more of a gradient or difference between the tint and the rest of my lips. Again, if it was a work day, I would not mess with that. I'd just probably apply this lipstick if I had time and then be on my way. This is the finished look. Thanks for watching all the way through. I'm interested to know, what are your makeup steps that you just can't do without? You know, what is that 1, 2, or even 3 things that you're like, if I don't do this, then this is not makeup to me. My makeup is not done, I'm not ready to go out. For some people, I can see it's, I shape my brows, put on eyeliner, mascara, that's my basics. And for other people is, I do mascara and some lip gloss and I'm happy with the way it is. I will put on foundation, concealer, and all that stuff, you know, for more formal events and whatnot. So interested to hear, you guys are all makeup enthusiasts, those subscribe to the channel. And if you're new to the channel, welcome, good to have you. I will see you guys next time.